All right, so this is the dragon holder for the Lord of the Rings Journeys in Middle-earth Spreading War expansion. So first thing I did, I went ahead and sanded everything thoroughly with some 150 grit sandpaper and a palm sander. That gets all of the laser burn marks off of things, any laser smoke deposits, any of that sort of stuff. So as I said, I sanded it quite thoroughly because I want this stuff to look nice. So this is going to be the very bottom. By the way, what we're doing here is going to be very similar to what you do with the elephant and castle holder. So we're then going to line these fingers up back here. Actually, that's the wrong layer. You put this one on first. Now, you'll notice there's more room over here than there is over here. So you're going to want to make sure, so there's a right way and a wrong way to put this in. All right, so there is a front and a back to this thing. You want to make sure that you get this correct. So I'm going to line up these fingers, and there's a distance between this end and this end, and these distances are different. You want to make sure that the wider distance is on your, well, it's on my left here, looking at it from the front of the box. This is the back of the box. On my left, you want more space here, and on my right, I want less space. Then we're going to want to make sure that this is lined up on that. Again, if I put it this way, you'll see that these are all off. So if I turn it around like this, they're a little bit more on. Now there will be some weird stuff going on in there when it comes to the shapes of things, but that's on purpose. These things are not circular. They've got weird little cutouts, and there's a reason for that. So once you get these things stacked up in the way you're going to want to put them together, I'm then going to, so I'm not going to put glue here. I'm going to put it on this side. And the reason for that is I want to avoid any of these little things that are actually moving parts. I don't want to get any glue near that. And if I'm putting it down here, I'm not going to be entirely exactly sure where those are going to be. So it's much, much safer just to do all of your gluing on this part and stay well away from these moving parts here as you put on your glue. So I'm going to take this, flop it over, put it here. Now, right now you're just sort of stacking it on top. You're just kind of trying to eyeball it to try to get those fingers lined up. We're going to put the rest of the thing together in a little while in a way that's going to hold them in place. But once you start doing this part of it, you don't want to dally because that glue that we just put down between those two layers is going to start curing. And you want to make sure that you can get the box really getting assembled with these parts here, and this, to make sure that it's going to be correctly aligned and not going to be cockeyed in some way. Then this one comes over here like this. Okay, so that's reasonably well lined up there. So now at this point, this goes back here. These go here and here. Now we need to make sure to get glue on all of the other finger joints here. It's not a bad idea to try to get at least a little bit of glue in that little area there. Actually, I got too much. You don't, let's use one of these little bits of wood that's left over. Don't want to have something like what I've got there. So I'm doing that. But having a little bit of glue on either side of this can help grab this a little better. All right. Do the same thing here. There we are. Okay, so I've got all the glue on that I need for this piece. You'll see some of these fingers have gotten a little bit out of alignment. You want to make sure that things haven't set irrevocably yet at this point. So you need to make sure that you're not working too slowly once you go ahead and start gluing these bottom pieces together. Let's see, there we are. All right. It's going to come up like that. A little bit of excess glue that came out of that thing. Just going to wipe it off. All right, there we are. We've got this. Durr. The glue tends to work better when you actually have it open. If the cap is closed, it won't want to dispense glue. This will go like this. So you should have a piece of acrylic. Probably has some protective coating on here, which may or may not look like this. It might be blue, it might be white, it might be this beige, it might have writing on it. It doesn't matter. It's all acrylic. Just depends on where I got it from, which shipment I got it from. When you do this yourself, at least before you actually put this whole thing into use, you're going to want to peel off the protective coating from both the front and the back of this thing. Then it'll be a nice display box. All right. So this will kind of click down in there. Now I find it's useful to have this here to sort of brace against as I bring these things in. Again, as in other videos, I've got a bunch of little binder clips of various sizes, usually small and medium, and I've also got some large ones, which, oh yeah, here are the large ones. Right, so small, medium, large. And it's nice to have a little variety of those things around here. So, now, a little too large for the small one. So I'm gonna go ahead and put a lot of these clips kind of around here like this. Hold these things in tightly on each other. This can be a little difficult to get some stuff in here, but if you want to try, just to make sure everything is nice and tight, you can, if you want to, try to put a binder clip in here. It has to be sort of at an angle, and do that. This is not necessary, but you know. Oops. There we are. All right. So you want to check all the different corners here, see if anything looks like it's askew or looks like it's not coming together tightly enough. This is generally looking okay. If you want to, you could then take a few rubber bands and wrap it around this in various places. One might be right around where the door is, like that. Another place might be this way here. All right. So that looks about right. When this gets done, when this cures, I will go ahead and take the clips and rubber bands off and show you how the dragons go in here. And it can be a very precise thing to do, but once you get the hang of it, it will go relatively smoothly. So that is it for that. All right, so I have given this plenty of time to dry. I'm now going to remove all the clips and rubber bands. This one can be a little bit tricky to get these in, and it may take a little bit of practice to be able to get them in and out easily. So we've got these little bendy bits down here, and they should still move somewhat freely, but give some spring back. So what you're gonna have to do, and this may take a little bit of practice to get it to work smoothly, so you see how this little bit of rock sticks out here? That's what this little cutout here is for. So I'm gonna put the dragon in at about this angle. I'm going to push it forward and then drop this back down, and this little nubbin here kind of catches it a little bit. And there you go, got that in. So then, and I think it's usually easier to start from this side, just because these wings do get, want to sort of occupy some of the same space. And it's easier to do that from this end due to the way that they curve rather than from the other end. All right, so final one here. There we are. And you can see these are pretty firmly in there. This one was quite a design challenge, and I'm pretty proud of the solution that I have. So if you've got your minis painted here, this will keep them all immobile and separate so that you don't have to worry about anything rubbing off in the box. And it also keeps them pretty tightly put together here. So it saves space and makes things more protected. So we've got the door for this holder. So I'm going to drop this down in here. There we are. Once again, nice display for this thing here. And this then goes into our overall organizer right here. So this and this raise above the rest of the stuff here. That's why we have those sort of trapezoidal shaped trays that are going to go on top here, because they need to allow for this to extrude upward. All right. Last thing I have to put in here is this little box, but I've got to assemble it first.